Susie Meister.
Oh, hey, what are you doing over there? Episode 657. Just
657. I've done the math. Looks like we will not be lining up episode 666 for Halloween.
No, I let it go because it was like getting too much. Too much.
Yeah.
We could just number it that way anyway if we wanted to.
We can do whatever we want. It's our show.
We could do whatever we want. But maybe it's just like you said, we'll just extend the demonic energy into November. That's fine.
I'm into this. Yeah. It's getting spooky over here. I've put up all my Halloween decorations at Eli's house. That's fun. I just like slowly snuck them in.
Is he in an area where you'll get trick-or-treaters?
I don't think so.
Darn.
It's kind of a busy street, and it's a lot of like young professionals.
Ew.
I say that like I'm a young professional. I think I'm a middle-aged professional. I think I'm just a regular professional at this point, right?
Right.
I mean, at what age does young professional end?
I think like 40. So maybe you're okay.
Really?
I think so. I think 40 and under.
Okay.
It still qualifies.
Because we've extended adolescence way into like the early 30s, maybe. Is that it?
Yeah. And like maybe we could even extend it as long as you're ovulating. What if we did that?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm a young professional well into menopause. Or like just before menopause hits. That's funny. So yeah, there's not a lot of trick-or-treaters, but also
Darn.
Here's what I'm thinking. And you even like kind of confirmed this or helped me with this theory, helped me form this theory. Do people even trick or treat anymore? Or are kids just doing that trunk or treat thing?
It's no, I think it's actually ramped up.
What?
I really do because I noticed
post-pandemic have we ramped up visiting strangers?
Because it's outdoor. It's outdoors, so it's like a safe.
Okay.
No
right.
germs.
And we did talk about this building community last time when we talked about like.
Well, and you have like the whole wine mom thing where like people drink while they're doing it, so then the parents are into it. People set up stuff outside with tables and fire pits and stuff. I think it's way more rowdy than it used to be.
In the neighborhood that I live in, it might be a thing.
I think it will be.
So I am going to be getting dressed up in my witchy costume, and I will be hanging out at my house. Really, it's just like 50% in hopes to see trick-or-treaters, 50% just an excuse to buy candy.
Yes, I love it.
I do realize that I'm a grown-ass woman, and I could buy candy for myself whenever I want, but it's different.
Yeah, it is. There is something special about Halloween candy.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're camping. It's like it feels like you can just eat whatever you want. Like
you're surviving.
Yeah, I'm like I gotta have Oreos. I'm camping. It's like whatever s'mores for like every night. And then at home, I would never eat like that. But yeah, I got to do it.
Speaking of survival, I watched the next season of Alone. Remember that show on Netflix? How is it? It is so good.
It's the best. I love that freaking show.
Excellent. It teaches you so much about human psychology.
Yes.
And why we prefer to be in groups and tribes and collectives.
Yeah. What did you say? What was this one that kind of made you see that?
It's just striking. It's striking how the loneliness really is the thing.
Yes.
And that is the thing that tends to break people more than hunger, more than injuries or fear. It is just like suffering from loneliness.
Yeah. Not having that something else there to make you feel like a person.
Yeah. You
start to lose your personness, like your humanness, the more alone you become. Ooh.
You can't run from your thoughts. It's like it can overwhelm people. It's interesting too, just different kinds of people. Some people are more stable and like measured and level-headed, and other people are a little wild and rowdy and neurotic. And
what do you think you'd be like out there? Like
horrible.
Horrible. Well, okay, first let's say you have somehow a lot of survival skills. So you're already set, like you have the ability to survive. All of like the plants to eat and not to eat, blah, blah, blah. You're set like that.
Yeah.
What is it?
I would do terribly.
Oh, okay.
I would do so bad. I think maybe you would be great because you're, you do really well in those, like
I know,
like life or death situations.
Yeah, I think I would too. And
but
then
I
I'd
don't
make
have
some
that.
fucking like corn husk doll and talk to it like all
corn husk.
you know,
doll.
like what, like what's his name? What the hell is the ball from?
Oh, Wilson.
Wilson. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would be like
I would
that.
be like that. I would like have.
Yeah,
because
you're more imaginative.
You have to you from all the shows I've watched, the guys who have done, and I only say guys because they're the only ones who have won so far, but and women who've done, the people who have done well, have another thing that they're doing to occupy themselves. Like one guy, I want to say his name was Lucas. It was either Lucas or Jordan. It's funny because one winner is named Jordan and one winner is named Lucas. Those are my two brothers, if in case you're wondering why that stands out. But he made an instrument. Mm-hmm. And so when you have an instrument to play the whole time,
yeah,
it gives you a kind of a little more meaning.
Yeah, you have to manufacture meaning. And we all have to do that all the time, even in real life.
Yeah, constantly.
That's why we put up Halloween decorations and...
Oh, you're right.
All kinds of stuff that... Why? Why do we do that? Right. We don't have to do that. We have to create meaning because life is so, weird. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, but when you're alone on that show and in the wild, you don't have anything to distract you from like, why am I on this planet? Yeah. And I think it can make you absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
and it's
takes
funny
away those things
to watch because when we're on the challenge, a lot of that same stuff comes up.
Yes.
That you assess your life and you have thoughts and fears and whatever that you don't normally. But this is just so much more exaggerated and it's hard to be distracted from it. But anyway, I recommend it. It's great.
It's so good. I hear that NASA uses the contestants from Alone and they interview them or they spend a lot of time asking them about their experience because it's one of the only ways that we can, NASA and the military, that we can study starvation, the effects of starvation and isolation because they're signing up for it. You can't really ethically put people through these tests, but you can put them on a reality show, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now that I say that out loud, like the military is like, well, we can't technically do this ourselves, but if we put a prize at the end, we can, and we videotape it, all good, no problem.
It's imperfect, though, too, because you can't do the studies and you're relying on these people that have this experience, you get a very limited type of person.
Correct.
It takes a specific kind of person to even care about survival skills, let alone get good enough to go on a show like that.
Right.
And so it's skewed. It's not as if it's going to represent, like, general population, but I'm sure astronauts are a similar type. Well, as you know, on Alone, they really aren't eating very well, but we are.
Oh, we definitely are.
Want to know why? Because we're eating HelloFresh, baby.
Thank you, HelloFresh, for making a delicious meal. They made it. I made it. I'm going to take all the credit. You guys just supplied me the recipe and the stuff. So thank you for that. But I made that for Eli last night, and finally I got to cook for him because he always does all the cooking. This is exactly what I need. I need interesting recipes that are like different. That's not like me making the same thing all the time because he's so creative in the kitchen. I can do two nights a week with my HelloFresh.
Yeah, see, and that they make it so easy. They have quick and easy meals.
So easy.
They have 20-minute recipes. They have the low prep, easy cleanup. You don't have to go to the grocery store. All the ingredients come right to your house. They have like fall stuff too, like pumpkin spice.
Apricot sumac chicken is what we had last night with bulgur and roasted vegetables.
I had recently the pork taquito. Holy
I love a taquito.
Smokes. I've had it before, and when it arrived, Lincoln did a dance of joy. He was so excited because it's our absolute favorite. Anyway, you can customize it. You can pick different plans and change the day of delivery. It's just so convenient. Go to HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy65 and use code BrainCandy65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Go to HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy65 and use code BrainCandy65 for 65% off plus free shipping.
It is very funny that you should bring up astronauts because one of my stories. Oh, I did. Did I?
You brought up NASA.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was talking about the NASA, right? NASA researching this for being in outer space, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I read a really funny story. I mean, I'm going to totally switching gears here. So, do you remember a while back? I think maybe I shared this on here that my mom was a victim of a scammer almost a victim. We'll call it an emotional victim of a catfisher. Of somebody who was using this whole scam where they said that they were an architect in, I don't think they were Singapore or something like that. And, she was supposed to meet him and they had been talking for 6 months or something. And she had to meet him.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. It was a while. It was for sure. He put the work in. So they were at the point in the relationship where she was going to pick him up from the airport where she comes to the United States or she's in the United States and goes to pick him up from the airport. Well, guess what? He's not there. And so then he reaches out to her. Oh, I'm so sorry. There were these import taxes, these taxes that I have to pay in order to get something released or to get back into the country, and I'm going to send you a money order for $10,000, and then you just have to cash the check and then deposit it wherever, whatever. So essentially, she's cashing a fake check. She's the one who's going to be writing the check where there's no real money attached to it.
Yeah.
And I intercept right before this happens. I find out and I'm like, wait a sec. He asked you to send him money. Hang on a sec. And all I did was show her the first episode of the show Catfish. And she burst into tears. It was a whole thing. And turns out there were multiple people who had been a victim of this scam.
She was a whistleblower.
Yeah, for real. She talked to the FBI about it, and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry." They were pursuing him in the check cashing fraud stuff that he was it was part of a whole web of this. So, but keep in mind, I want you to remember. So I tell this story so that you can hear the part where the scam is. I need you to pay this tax, this import tax, this returning home tax, to get back in the country. Yeah. And that was the thing, all my mom wanted was, and the way they set it up is the guy's I want to be with you. I can't wait till we're able to have our sweet embrace, blah, blah, blah. So the thing that becomes so important is meeting them and you're willing to give all this money.
Yeah.
There is a woman in Japan who lost the equivalent of $30,000 to another scammer who was an astronaut who needed cash to return home.
Shut up. Shut.
Uh-huh. She
deserved it. She deserved it.
Scam. He was pretending to be a Russian cosmonaut who needed money to return home to planet Earth.
Cosmonaut is so much funnier.
So much funnier, right? Oh my gosh.
My God.
Yep.
I'm sorry to victim blame, but ma'am.
Mm-hmm. He explained to her that he was working on my favorite / least favorite place and home to many of my nightmares, the International Space Station.
Yeah, literal nightmares.
As an astronaut. And he expressed this strong desire to start a new life in Japan. And he declared his love for her, saying that as soon as I get to Earth, I'm going to marry you and I want to start my life. And this, all I have to say is I love you, I love you, I love you 1,000 times won't be enough, blah, blah, blah. So,
and he said there was a toll.
Yes.
Like a toll booth.
Things are a little bit complicated. He told her that there was this is a direct quote, a landing fee to return home and set up a new life. And it totaled 4.4 million yen that she had to deposit
That's a lot of yen.
5 separate banks, which seems also suspicious. Mm-hmm. And then, so she eventually, like, he kept asking for money after that. And then
so she gave that.
Yes.
And then he landed?
Apparently it wasn't enough, Suze.
Okay, right. Inflation.
Yeah, it's real expensive to land. Yes, gas prices have gone up. Jet fuel prices have gone up, apparently.
Totally.
And yeah, so she got a little suspicious, so she reached out and she contacted the police. And they told her, like, you know, it's kind of what you're saying, like, sorry, lady, like, we can't do anything. And this was not the first time. The scam had been going back to 2016.
Yeah. That is, I hope she learned a real good lesson about not being an idiot.
Right. There's no, you know, this seems to be like a theme, like a lot of, as we talked about, like there's so much scamming going on. There are, attention, brain candy brainiacs, do not fall for the fake psychic who's claiming to be my mom, who's saying that if you
there are several.
Yeah, there are several. So, like, my mom never ever reaches out to anybody and says, like, hey, would you like a reading? So if that happens, just... Because somebody reached out to me and they were scammed out of $50 for a fake read. And then they canceled it with their bank. Don't worry, the bank helped them out. But
oh gosh.
Yeah, gave her like a generic text message like, here you go, like copy and paste from like astrology.com, I'm sure.
Somebody had sent me like a screenshot of one of them, and I can see why people went for it because it's very appealing. Like this pretend Sally slides into people's DMs and is like, I'm picking up some amazing energy or light from you. Like, I would be like, yeah, tell me more. Here's $50.
Yeah. And if they only look at her, like, if they don't like scroll deep into the account, like there's like 1,000 followers. So like they have some, they do something where they like real quick, like buy those followers and then use all of the same photos. It's
that's creepy.
Yeah.
Maybe she should be private on there or something. But I guess that would...
Oh, yeah. Just, like, take away the photo. Right.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, like, don't fall for
don't fall for that, everybody.
Scams,
don't fall for cosmonauts.
Don't fall for... there are no cosmonauts that are coming down to rescue or coming down to, like...
I love how she thought someone would go to space without having the secured landing
exit plan
to get back.
Right.
That's so great. That's my favorite part.
Like they were thinking, well, maybe I'll just call an Uber. Yeah. Like, what was the plan, buddy? And
I'm running though.
My other favorite part is thinking that like in all, like if he were a cosmonaut, Russian cosmonaut working on the space station, that he's got that much time in his day to be messaging.
To be falling in love.
Yeah. To be like sending thousands of messages. And like,
did they find the guy?
No, they never do.
Right. He's on the moon or whatever. Yeah.
What do you expect? It's the International Space Station. GPS doesn't go that far.
Right. It's a perfect crime.
It is. So that was a funny one.
That is fantastic.
Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, $30,000 to the fake astronaut. Whatever.
Well,
she kind of deserved it.
I'll tell you what everybody deserves, and that is an amazing pair of Rothy's shoes.
Love them. I busted out my, I have the tennis shoes version, you know, like the sneaker.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
I love them.
Yeah?
They make me feel like I summer in the Hamptons.
That's great.
You know
what
I mean?
Is it about them that makes you feel
I don't know. They make me feel, they're like fancy sneakers, and I'm like doing my job to like protect the environment. It feels very
I know what you mean. There's a real elegance to them.
There's an elegance to it, right? And then I wear it like they're beige, and I wear it with like this like all beige outfit. It makes me feel very like Diane Keaton, like
yeah. What's that filmmaker that does all those Diane Keaton movies with those kitchens. I forget.
Yes, whatever that is. That's what the
what the Rothy's are.
Yes.
They have tons of different styles. Some of them are great for work because they're like dressy enough that you could wear them to work, but they're comfy. And then they're all washable. So you can throw them in the wash and they're still good as new. But then they have, like Sarah said, the sneakers, more casual loafers, all kinds of colors and designs. They have them for kids. You like have seen my white ones that are still clean 5 years later because when they come out of the washer, they look good as new. You can get stylish shoes, versatile and durable enough. Do you hear my cat? This is insane.
This is so funny.
Durable enough. Let me start over. Get stylish shoes, versatile and durable enough to wear all the time with Rothy's. Get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/braincandy. That's ROTHYS.com/braincandy. Hey, maybe they could make cat ones for Lava here, who seems very interested.
There is a show or a funny character called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And one of the characters came out with a product that he called kitten mittens.
I would buy kitten mittens for sure.
Does your cat make too much noise? Try kitten mittens. And I was like, we could really have used kitten mittens right there.
Yes. I'm the target audience for that.
Yes.
Product.
Speaking of putting things on cats, I would like to properly thank you for the attempt/success, if you ask me, that you had in putting your cat in the bat wings that I sent you. That was so fun.
Yes, and thank you for buying them. So after I posted that video of my cat in the bat wings, Isabel, one of our listeners, sent me a video of her cat in bat wings, and it went way better for her. Like the cat didn't even mind at all. It was no big deal.
I feel like owner like cat.
Oh, really? Maybe?
Don't you feel that? I feel like your cat had what I would call like a Larry David response to the bat wings. What are we doing? This is ridiculous. And the cat's like,
yeah, and it was actually hard to catch her then because she wanted to escape the wings. It's like trying to run from your shadow, basically. And I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but it worked out. It was fine.
That is so funny. Bo, on the other hand, loves wearing costumes.
Oh.
And I know this to be true. Like she used to go to a daycare where they would dress her up and take photos like for holidays and stuff. And when I was with my ex-husband and we had the other dog Sigmund in the pair, they would put them together in the photos and Sigmund always looked so mad and Bo has this shit-eating grin on her face and she's like, I love this. This is the best. Look at my hat. Like,
do you have a lot of costumes for her?
I have costumes that I have put on her. Like I have like bunny ears for Easter that I would like put on her.
Human ones.
But I do think that I might need to get her some because she likes it. There was a costume I saw that was like candy corn, and then in each of the colors it had letters, and it was BOO. Boo. And so I was like, what if I took out the one of the stitching on one of them and it just said Bo?
That's adorable.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go back.
Also, remember when you adopted Bo and your ex-husband wanted to change the spelling of Bo to be BEAU because that's classier?
Fancier? Nope. And I said, no, it's just BO. Which is appropriate because like dog, like owner.
Yeah, right. Oh, God. That's
Eli's
great.
got me wearing deodorant now. It's good.
What do you never stink, Sarah? I don't know why you say this.
I do. I stink 1.5 to 2 weeks out of the month. 1 week out of the month. It's just that time of the month. Everything changes.
You get a little ripe.
Yeah. And woo.
Ew.
And then who does this? We went to the movies and saw a horror film.
Wow.
When was the last time I did that? Since I was in junior high.
1980?
Right. Mm-hmm. It was so fun. And I think that the fear that I experienced from being in the movie, like seeing a horror film, there's like a different smell to that fear sweat. Like I came out and I was like, oh my goodness, it smells like I've been chased by a zombie.
Damn.
Yeah.
What movie was it?
It was called, oh my God, it was so good. It was called Barbarian.
I've never even heard of that.
Jason, neither had I. And it got like, I don't know, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, which for a horror film might as well be 100%. So we were like, oh, let's go see a movie tonight and like do that whole thing. And it was, and then we got in like a horror movie watching like.
You guys really are the perfect match.
Well, then we watched like too many horror movies and like. We were both like, I feel weird today. Do you feel weird today? Like,
no.
We saw too much gore and violence and too many people getting like locked up in boxes and tortured.
Well, tis the season.
Yeah, right? Tis the season. Okay, I have more stories for you. This is funny. So turns out lakes can explode. Did you know that?
What do you mean? No, I don't.
Yeah, for real, they can. Like, lakes can explode, and not only can they explode, they have exploded, and they kill thousands of people instantly when they do.
It's like Sharknado or something?
I mean, kind of sounds creepy in that way. Are you familiar with Cameroon and what happened in 1986 there?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so this is interesting, because growing up, we had a family friend who had a kid named Cameron, and we were like the family that all went camping together and everything. So we would always joke whenever anybody farted that it was like, oh, Cameroon, like, you know, because the gases. Cameroon. Well, let me first tell you the story. Cameroon is home to a underground volcanic system, and there was an eruption of toxic gas, CO2, that happened underneath.
That's a funny joke then. Okay, that's fine.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And when it happened, thousands of people died because of death by toxic gases. So this happened. Lake Nyos exploded on August 21st in 1986 in Cameroon and killed thousands of people and wildlife for miles around. So what happens is the mantle, like underneath the ground, the mantle shifts and it builds up these CO2. It's almost like CO2 gas just builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up under the lake until and this happens in a few different parts of the world, until there's so much pressure that any kind of little rock slide or landslide inside the lake causes a sudden disturbance and the release of all of this, what is really just like a catastrophic emission of CO2. And
this is a dumb question. Is CO2 similar, the same, or different from methane?
Well, CO2 is carbon dioxide, and I think methane is a different kind. Let's look it up. I have no fucking clue.
Maybe it's like the same type of problem, though, because I was reading NPR. They were talking about how peat bogs have methane trapped in there, and so if you disrupt it, it's a big problem.
Yeah, let's see. Methane versus CO2.
So nice for entertaining my query.
Yeah, methane has more than 80 times the warming power of carbon dioxide. Wow, so they are different things.
Okay.
Yeah, and methane is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's methane. Right, methane is CH4, so it's one carbon and 4 hydrogen.
Right. Okay, well, they're both trouble if they start like...
Yeah, big trouble.
Yeah.
And so when this disturbance happened in the lake in Cameroon, it released 1.24 million tons of carbon dioxide, which I think in order to get 1 million tons of a gas, that's a fuck ton. And in doing so, it created this almost like the people who survived and who like saw this, the first person account said that there was this rumbling and then this frothy spray that burst hundreds of feet into the air, and then followed by this gust that blew through the homes in the village, and then this heavy cloud of this like foamy gas that moved 15 miles away from the explosion site and settled right in the valley, and anything that it came in contact with suddenly died by asphyxiation. Only the people on high grounds were able to avoid it.
Hideous.
Yeah. Isn't that spooky?
All the people, all the animals, all the everything.
Instantly by asphyxiation.
instantly.
Yeah, it's like an instant thing. Like as soon as you breathe it in, you first pass out and then you die.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and
literally.
So this volcanic line that's home to this has 53 different craters attached to it, and now they have these pipes that go underneath that are designed to drain the gas out of it.
Okay, well,
because
that's
we
good.
do know where it's happening.
I love it, troubleshooting.
There are scientists are okay. I just needed to set the stage. I read this article, and as I was reading it, I absolutely did get up from the table and go, it's a gift. It's a gift. I mean, when I do this show, and it's like the universe just lays these things like, here you go, Sarah. This information couldn't be more perfect for your podcast. In researching this, they're like, as they were collecting information for the article, and they were looking at like the people who are studying this, who are the researchers and educators who are like fighting the good fight in making sure that lakes don't explode.
That's a
one guy in particular is a disaster management scholar who has made this like his life work,
and like nobody gives a shit until like a lake explodes.
Yeah, guess what his name is?
Oh no. What?
Henry Bang. Thank you. Article. I was like, why don't they put this in the title?
Yeah, like they buried the lead again.
They buried the lead. The lead. This. We're just gonna like breeze over that, and then they continue to use his. They say like, Bang's recommendations are that the lakes in the region should be tested. I'm like, you can't.
The jokes write themselves.
You can't the jokes write themselves. I mean, and you're just not even going to make any sort of like pun about that. Come on.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge it. You can't just walk past that name and act like nothing's happening.
Freaking funny. So that made me laugh. But the fact that lakes are exploding, not so funny. This is happening. It also, there are signs of this like CO2 gas. These are, let's be real, essentially lake farts.
Ew.
This is like a lake farting. It just builds up, and then just bloop. But it kills us. But they have them in Italy, Tanzania, and Rwanda.
Aren't they scared?
Yes, they are. Especially Henry Bang. He's like, yo guys, this was a big problem. And they're looking at like protective tools. The only thing that they can do is look at like CO2 detectors to detect. They said like sometimes in the lakes surrounding areas can give hints that the CO2 levels are building up. But unless we're going around and testing the CO2 levels in all these lakes, we don't know when there's going to be some sort of shift.
It's kind of like earthquakes where you can make some educated guess. But
yeah.
Is it more about when rather than if?
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Because they're already, they've stopped this from happening a few times they've been able to like release the gas and drain it out. Like, and it doesn't feel like, is CO2, can't we use that for something? Can't we use it like somebody get on that?
Yeah. Can't you guys figure that out? Like you did with the oil spills and like put
like CO2, rubber cement on it. It's just like a waste product. It's just like a waste product of the earth, right?
I don't know. You're asking me. I know nothing.
I don't know. Because we figured it out with like all alcohol is like sugar farts. Have you heard this?
What are you talking to? Oh, like fermentation.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
wow.
you.
I never thought about it that way.
So like alcohol is like the result of sugar, what comes from the sugar in the fermentation process. I don't know. You probably have to mix some other stuff with it, but I don't know what happens. I went to 1,000 wine tasting. Like I've been taught this a million times, like so many times. I was just like, yeah, less talky, more drinky. Let's go. And so
Sarah's on a roll today. This is like sugar farts is like the least sexy thing, but the most sexy thing is Dipsy. Okay? That's my transition to talking about Dipsy, which is this really cool app that has sexy stories no matter what you're into. that can help you get in the mood or even just kind of chill out and enjoy the ride, like a kind of like a romance novel might do.
Yes.
Get
you in the mood is right.
Yeah, get you in the mood. However you want to feel. They're radically inclusive. They have straight queer stories. They have 56% of the stories are voice acted by people of color.
Oh, I love
which
this.
I freaking love. They have new content released every week, sleep stories, wellness stories. And for listeners of the show, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/braincandy, dipseastories.com/braincandy. I just want to say that there is a part of that Dipsea spot that I have edited out. Because I made a mistake.
Well, you pulled a Sarah.
I just
or you say one name and mean the other.
But I want to just say to myself, Susie, well done in not dying of laughter. Because there were moments where I was going to break and I didn't.
Good job.
Sorry you guys won't get to hear it.
You're the true professional over here because I don't know how to do that.
Sarah, that was so funny. Okay, go ahead with your stuff.
I just see that as so normal because of how many times when we listen to the episodes again, I'm like, no, Sarah, it was not Fred Durst who was killed people. It was Robert Durst. What are you saying right now? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, but this was not even recall. I just read the wrong thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Your brain just took a little vacation or filled in some information for you.
Maybe it was wishful thinking. Anyway.
Yeah. So watch out for farting lakes.
Okay,
but don't worry. Henry Bang is on the job.
Hank Bang is on the case.
Hank Bang.
He's probably so mad that nobody gives a shit about lake explosions.
I think we should.
Well, yeah, but nobody does. It's just like everything else of importance. If it seems boring, they check out.
Yeah. That doesn't seem boring to me. That seems like a story that, there must have been maybe something I searched for recently that was 80s nostalgia. Maybe, I know. I was like, why is all this 80s stuff coming up in my feed and everything like that? It's because I was looking at vintage horror films and horror movies. And so now all this stuff from, I also saw an article. I didn't read it because it was I wanted more information on it before I talked about it. But I saw something else that said, what happened to the Bermuda Triangle?
What do you mean, what happened to it?
Yeah, we used to be talking about it all the time, and then it kind of went away.
That's
true. I have the article saved because I want to read it and learn more.
That would be a good one for our 666 episode where we're going to talk about satanic panic and all that stuff.
Ooh, that's perfect for that.
Because that really was some spooky stuff that people were real into it. Yeah. Maybe they just solved the mystery of it.
Yeah, it was solve the mystery. Now, that's in air quotes, they solve the mystery of aliens, and it's just they're there, and we don't know anymore.
No. In fact, I think on
Brain Candy, a weather balloon. That's what they say, something like that. Is that it?
No, I think on Brain Candy even we talked about how it turns out there aren't a greater number, percentage-wise, of disappearances.
Right.
It's just a highly trafficked area, so there are more in number, but equal in percentage.
Got it. Okay.
I think that's what
that
was
sounds
determined.
about right. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like people's, these the panic comes in waves, though. What we're scared about.
Yeah, things go through cycles for sure.
Yes, for sure. Okay. What else did I want to tell you about? Oh, I saw this really cool article. It was a study that was done. So. We all agree that animals in captivity,
it's problematic.
It's very problematic.
It's not ideal.
Not ideal at all. And one of the ones that is the worst are the marine life. They have the whole frickin' ocean to swim around in. And we're like, oh, here, have this tank that's 20 feet long and do all these tricks for us. And it's so sad. So researchers were there's been a lot of progress made in creating very lifelike robotics
Okay.
And animatronics, really animatronics. It's almost like, if you've ever been to Universal Studios, that Jaws that popped out of the water and you're like, oh God, this thing is terrible.
I thought you were going to say Chuck E. Cheese and his band.
Or Chuck E. Cheese and his band, animatronics. That is another animatronic. Not so lifelike, maybe. But researchers are really trying to make these animatronics look more lifelike, and have had success that they've used in movies that makes it so you can use animals without like harming them, or especially in films, there's like a lot of rules about that. So researchers were interested to see if people would, when given the option, choose swimming with a real dolphin or swimming with an animatronic dolphin. And it was really pretty interesting. So the research was done with, admittedly a small survey or sample group. It was only 15 students, but they were students who were in a tourism field. And they were given two hypothetical scenarios. They got to either swim with a real dolphin, interact with a real dolphin, or interact with an animatronic version. And of the 15 students, 10 of them picked real dolphin. A lot of them cited it as like, this is going to be a once in a lifetime experience. It's like a bucket list thing. They want it because it's like going to be more real. They feel like they wouldn't get that same sense of satisfaction. What do you think you would choose?
If it were the swimming thing, or I would choose animatronic. But if it were a show, I would prefer to see a live animal do a show.
Really?
Is that stupid?
I don't know. No,
weird?
It's just your personal preference. They didn't ask about the show, so that would be an interesting one, like following up. So after
what would you choose?
Well, I think if I were going in not knowing anything about how animals were treated, then maybe there would be this feeling of like, oh, I want to swim. I mean, I have done that.
Me too.
My roommate in the Real World house, JD, was a dolphin trainer at Miami Sea Aquarium or SeaWorld then at the time. And we went there, and I went with them and got to swim with the dolphins and like do the whole thing. And this was a long time ago. This was before I would not make that decision now, for all the people who are like, I can hear you going, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Yeah. I would not do that now. And my feelings.
Mine was on road rules, so I didn't have a choice. It was just.
Yeah. What did you do?
It was just like a thing where you went out into the ocean and did this feeding and all this stuff.
Oh, at least you were out in the ocean, though.
Yeah, that's true. But they must come in all that. They're like, want it or something.
They're like, ooh, food. Yeah. So in the study, they asked the kid.
Wait, you didn't say what? Oh, so now you would choose animatronic.
Now I would choose animatronic.
What about a show? Wouldn't you feel like, I don't want to watch robots doing a show?
Well, the idea of even having anything do a show, I feel like.
I don't want a show, right, but I'm just saying if those are my choices.
Yeah. Like, they should just nix the shows altogether.
Yeah,
that's
fucked
up.
Cut that shit out.
Yeah, let's just watch
up.
them do their animal. And turns out, animals just doing their animal stuff way more fun than making them jump through hoops, because they do really cool things like blow bubbles and like
that's so true.
They swim through. They do better tricks without us teaching them.
Yeah, the whole thing is really bizarre.
Yeah, it really is. So after the students responded, they had them watch two videos. The first was a documentary about the life of a captive killer whale, and it's called Lolita, Slave to Entertainment, and you can watch it. It's on YouTube, available for free. It's really sad, but really good. Older, so slow documentary, but I think it was like Blackfish before Blackfish. Then the second video was a promotional video by a company called Edge Innovations, and they're the ones who created this animatronic dolphin. Suze, you have to see this.
It's adorable.
I think maybe your feelings will be 100% animatronic for everything after you see what this looks like. Looks like a real dolphin. It moves like a real dolphin. And she gets to swim with it and learn about it. And, like, it feels like, look at how that moves.
Yeah. Right.
That looks like a real dolphin.
Yeah. I think you're onto something, though, when she said specifically for kids.
Yeah.
Because I think they don't really care about, like, connecting with, like,
right.
you know, living thing as much. But I think they'd be real into that.
Real into that. And then if you could show, like, teach about animal, like...
animal behavior and preservation and the ecosystems. Yeah.
And give them that kind of up-close experience where it even feels like a dolphin, it moves like a dolphin, sounds like a dolphin, but no dolphins have to be harmed in the making of this or have to deal with a life in captivity or whatever could happen. So
is it like a remote control thing?
I think so.
It must be, right? Somebody's like doing it.
Yeah.
That's real cute.
Yeah.
That must have cost a pretty penny, though.
I bet. But how much do you think it cost to keep 4 dolphins in captivity and the maintenance on that, the trainers? You got to get maintenance, like maintenance of the facility, feeding all of that animal forever.
Yeah, medical care,
the trainers, the people who are going to... I
can't believe it's all still going on, to be honest with you. I really can't.
I can't either.
It doesn't really make sense to me.
It does same. And when you see like how there are other options and other things that we can do, like animatronics, this is exactly what we should be using that for. And
I bet you Animal Kingdom will adopt that first. Disney tends to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they get on board with that stuff.
Yeah.
And they have the money.
That's true.
Maybe they'll institute that at Animal Kingdom. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. I like teared up a little bit when I saw the video with the audio on, and there's something like she has that same feeling of being in awe of an animal. It feels so different than, like, you can sense that look at how we're similar, because I can swim like that and you can swim like that, but look at how different we are in the same way. And it's like a really beautiful thing to kind of see. And I hope that we can do more things like that. There was we talked about this a while back, but there was I want to say it was like a circus in Russia or something like that replaced all the animals with holograms. And they were so cool looking, and they could do cool things, and they could make them like really, really big and fill up the whole tent, and it was so impressive.
But like, if they're holograms, are they actual animals somewhere else? Or like they filmed them doing it initially, but then only one time?
That's a good question. Or is it one of those things where you can use like technology? You can, what do they call it?
AI?
Yeah. But what is that? CGI.
Maybe
CGI.
Oh yeah, CGI. Or maybe they use vintage footage too that already exists.
Yeah, and turn it into some shows. 5D kind of like.
That's really cool.
Yeah, just the future of getting to be up close and personal with it, because it just seems very old, fat. Like, why are we doing this still?
Yeah,
like it's crazy to think the lengths that we go to, like how we've humanized our pets, our dogs and our cats, and like
your pets are wearing clothes.
But then we take these animals and we're like, oh, we're still gonna like keep them in cages and like, you know,
it ain't great.
It ain't great. Okay, let me think. Anything else? I talked about that. Ooh. I'll give you this one with the last few minutes. So yeah, it's kind of more like a summary, but I read an interesting article on what does it mean when we die of old age?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
This drives me crazy.
And it should.
Okay.
Because it's sort of different depending on where you are and who classifies it. Like the UK classifies things as death by old age in a different way than the United States does. And if you look at what their top three like causes of death for like the elderly is, I wanted to say it was like dementia, Alzheimer's, and then like heart attack or something like that. In the United States, it was 3 different ones because of how we label things. And usually we just think of it, there's really no like model. There's no like, in a way, no such thing.
It's sort of abstract.
Yes. Some people say it's death by fragility, that your body becomes more fragile. And therefore, like, if you were to have a fall, right. That's what I said. I'm like that. I don't know about that, because then that's like.
So if you had complications from a fall, they would still say it was old age?
That if you had complications from a fall, depending on where you were, if that was classified as.
I hate that story.
I know. Yeah.
Because I want to know. I even say this to my mom, because she'll talk about what it's like to age, mainly because I won't quit asking her questions about it, because I'm fucking having a midlife crisis. And I'm like, but I just want to, I want to know what it means. Why do people get slower? Why, what is happening in our bodies that changes the way we move and the speed at which we do things and heal? And I guess it's cellular. And so like,
yes, that's what they said, that it has it's a declining, it's common issues that affect the body as the system begins to decline and cells become unable to repair themselves easily.
Right.
So it's the result, often it's illnesses that are the result of cells not being able to repair themselves in the same as fast as they did when they were younger. For example, they put, if an elderly person has a fall, then goes to the hospital, gets a checkup, they could catch pneumonia from that environment, which could eventually result in their death. So dying of old age, they said, may be used to describe the death of an older person that often could occur at night and is maybe linked to a person's heart stopping in their sleep.
Okay, then say that. Say that his heart stopped.
But that it's if you go to different countries, then the reason for why that heart stopped may change.
Right, because sometimes it is, you know how dementia puts holes in your brain?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then eventually it does, organs fail because the brain is connected to your organs.
Wow.
So it could be that, or it could be like a heart attack, right?
Right. Correct.
But I mean, they call it old age as if like your batteries just died. Like
well,
you just.
Kind of, so this is funny that you even say that they give a list in this article of signs that may indicate if a person is coming to the end of their life. Oh, Susie just like leaned in. She's so excited about this.
I act like I'm 100 years old.
You do. And like, you're gonna be like, oh, I have 5 of these things. I'm definitely dying. So I want everybody to just take this with like a grain of salt. And Susie's like taking notes. Do not think that you are dying. This is just, we're like, take everything into context, people, please. But here are some of the signs that indicate whether a person is coming to the end of their life. So, sleeping more due to energy levels being low. Anxiety and depression. People may have this fear for themselves or those left behind. Appetite and digestive changes. So digestion and metabolism, slow down, which causes lack of thirst and appetite.
That's crazy.
Changes in vital signs. So reduced circulation, sometimes making the outer limbs cold to the touch.
Sarah!
And this may become like apparent when the skin starts to turn blue or purple. This is not you, Susie. I know you're going to say that, but you have this probably because you're anemic or need more iron. So, okay. Then sensory changes, so the worsening of eyesight, which can also lead to delusions, hallucinations, and illusions. My grandma had those.
My aunt has that.
And then confusion, so they can be easily confused and have difficulty recognizing key information like dates, places, or people. Then urinary, it's urinary and bladder incontinence.
Yeah, what's that from?
Kidney failure and like the organs getting shut down, like you said. Loss of consciousness, so more of a difficult time waking up. And then breathing changes. And this is interesting. There's something that causes it. They call it the death rattle.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard my dad's.
Like, oh,
it's unmistakable. It's so weird.
Tell me what that. They said it's like the person's too weak to clear it by coughing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The throat muscles. The breathing becomes shallow and slow, and fluid in the throat occurs when the muscles are relaxed, and it makes it so that it causes this death rattle where the person is too weak to clear that fluid by coughing.
Yeah. It's unmistakable, and it's exactly what it sounds like with the name Death Rattle. It's so sad. And anybody that works, what's that word, palliative care?
I don't know that.
I don't know the right way to say it, but people that deal with dying people all the time, they know exactly when things are cooking, when you're about to die. There's no mistaking it. It's like certain things happen. And it is
like your battery's running out. You know how the lights like start to like if you're using I saw this in the horror film when their flashlights started to run out of batteries. And you know you like tap it and it like flicks on and off and it has a little bit of trouble. It's not quite as bright.
Yeah, but then it'll come back on
for like
it'll work for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of like shake it a little bit, like come on, and then it dims and then it just dies, like batteries dying.
Mortality is the true horror story, and that's probably part of why people like horror movies, because it allows you to confront death and fear.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And as we said, like, even when we were talking about what group has the best time handling death and the afterlife, goths. So the more time we spend looking at that stuff, the more comfortable we get with our own mortality in a way. Or like, not necessarily the more time, but like, when we do that, there's a part of us that is satisfied, that it satisfies, or that it provides some level of comfort.
It's very healthy to engage it.
Yes.
It is, even though it's hard. And like we prefer, especially Americans, I think, because we worship youth and beauty and all that.
And we have a negative death narrative.
Yeah, we do not engage that enough because it's so hard. But if you do, it pays off, I think. Yeah. That was very informative, and I'm going to go through this list and cry because it's coming for us all. None of us are going to make it out alive, but I'd rather it be later.
There's your pre-Halloween spooky information.
Thank you to everybody who's checked out our merch. You guys are so special, and it means so much. And thank you for everyone who's checked out Sarah's This Changes Everything, as well as things we got wrong, and leaving us all those great reviews and all that.
We love you guys so much. We love you, hookers.
Love you, hookers. See you next time.
Bye.